And we'll get started. Raja, I think what we're going to do at the end of you've got a presentation. Amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna let you do your presentation, and then with the time that we have left off, we'll Bruno, I don't know if you're still available, but we could do a couple of other finish up some points on the multi-form use case using like the query. I think one of the things we were looking to do was pass the query string value from one cloud page to the next so that we can bring over the data extension, the personalization strings from one cloud page to the next. But we'll see how that time goes. And Raja, will let you kick off your presentation. Wow, you've even got a slide set up. Amazing.
Yep. So yeah, I will quickly finish this thing, and then we can go with the Bruno's the multi-form page. Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Raja, the builder for today's session. In this session, I would like to discuss about the policy agent and customer use case that earlier that we were discussing. So what's this use case is that just to give a brief overview. So here we will have agents who will be given a list of customers who they need to give a call and then discuss with that customer about different policies that their company is having. And once they have a call with the customer, they will mark that customer as marked completed to remove from their list. And when they submit the customer details on the landing page of agent's landing page, what happens, that submit button will trigger an event to the wait until event, which is present in the journey, that will issue an email to that customers. Okay. So let me take you to the journey, how it looks. So basically this is how the journey looks like. So most of all the customers initially will be in the waiting phase, and after the customers enter into this waiting phase, what agents will do is they will pick each customer from this waiting list, and then they will try to have a call with that customer. And once they click on this landing page, once they submit the customer details on this landing page, and once they click on submit, what happens, the customers will move from this waiting phase to the next phase, which is the email triggering. Okay. So basically the agent calls a customer, and then he enters the details, customer details, marking that this particular customer, with a message saying, thank you for your time, and like it's been pleasure speaking to you and regarding our policies, and please feel free to go through those policies. Okay. And after he enters those details, and once he click on submit, the customers will move from the waiting phase to the email phase, and the email will automatically trigger once they pass this waiting phase. Okay. So this is our use case. So yeah, so let's jump on to how that actually works. Okay, to see it in live. So this is my cloud page that I have, which is for the agents. So this is how the preview looks like. Okay, and let me also open the journey simultaneously. Yeah, so this is my journey. Okay, so currently there is this one customer that already successfully the agent submitted his details, and he already went through this waiting phase to the email phase. Okay, which I will show you for tracking purpose. where it will be present, where that data, the submitted data will be present. It's in the data extension. Share data extensions and the agent. You see, this is how, once the agent submits the customer details with his, the customer ID and the text that he, like puts in here, the text will also be, available in the data extension, target data extension, which will be used to, customize this message to be rendered in the email that goes out to that customer. Okay, I will show you that email as well. Yeah, so this is our email. If I click on the test preview, so this is how it looks like. Okay, and yeah, this is my details that I submitted for my testing purpose, and this is successful. And let's see, like there is one more customer who is already in the journey, who is waiting, right? I guess that's the team details. So let me do one thing. I will submit Tim's details and then see if this, if Tim will move from the waiting phase to the email phase. Okay. And then Tim will also confirm us whether he received an email or not with the custom message that we going to write it. Okay. So yeah, so I am in the cloud page, and what is the customer ID for Tim that will be present here from the Jenny. This is the Jenny data extension, which I used as the source. If you can take a look at here, the test customers TE. So basically from this data extension, the customers will get, pushed into this Jenny. Okay. So I went into that particular Jenny to pick who is waiting. So Tim is the one that's waiting. So I will just, copy out his ID, the customer ID, and then I will go to the cloud page. I will enter Tim's customer ID, saying that I already, spoke with Tim regarding our company policies. Okay. And then I will mark it as done. And then I will leave a message. Let me copy that specific message as well from that specific data extension. Instead of typing it entirely. Yeah. So thank you. We would love to know your policy option. Like, please go through those attached options, which that will be present in the email. That once we submit this, the email will go out with the attachments. Let's hope that that's the case. But you don't see it, the attachments, but it's just for for the text purpose. I just kept it that way so that it will be much authenticate. Yeah. So, and this is my ID. So yeah, I will now click on submit. And once I submit, what happens in this Jenny, you know, right now it is 2, right? So now, and here you will see, Tim will move from the waiting phase to the email phase, and then you will see the count as 2 here. Okay. So yeah, let me submit it. Yeah, you see, thank you, customer uh, with ID details submitted successfully. Okay. And to confirm this one, what we can do is we need to go to the data extension that we used for the wait until event activity. Correct. So in this here, in this event, 1 second. Yeah. in this data, in this event, for this event, we have, designated this specific data extension to store those, those event related information. Okay, now we will go to that particular data extension. This is the agents, right? So let me refresh this one. Currently it is just showing one record, but yeah, see, now we got one more record added. So this is Tim, and then he's the customer ID, and this is the text that I used in my cloud page in here. Okay, and then the timestamp you can see, yeah, 21 and 716. Yeah. So this also matches, correct? And now let me go to the journey to see if that really went through successfully or not. Let me refresh it. Yeah, you see, it changed from 1 to 2. That means the email also sent out to Tim with a personalized message, and then and he's also like, I think, yeah, this is also done, yes. So yeah, Tim, can you confirm whether you received that email, and can you open it and share it to us?
Yep, yeah, let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the email. Came at 8:16 a.m.
Yeah, perfect. EST, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so see, so here in the subject line, since this is just for testing, so I just mentioned it out that, and then it says our policy option attached, and in the in the body of the email, I just the customized message that I have it for Tim, which I mentioned in when I submit Tim's details. So this is the customized message that I typed in, and then yeah, basically our policies, this is a button which um, we can use it for redirection purpose, but for now I don't have any web page for that policy, so just for the reference that I kept it here. So yeah, this is how the email will go out. Okay, so yeah, and if can you, yeah, do you have the access? Yeah. Now let me take you to what typically involved in this designing every in all these things. Let me go to my slides. Yeah, so what all aspects that I covered from the from with the help of the SS boot camp that we have been through through all these sessions is that I have used the combination of AMP and SSJS for designing my cloud page. And also in that while designing the cloud page itself, I got to use the knowledge that I got in defining the variables and objects, and how to access those objects, and how to write if else clauses and for loops as well, which I will show you in the code as well. And also the different kind of library functions, platform library functions for reading the form details, and like also setting the AMP script variables, and also setting and getting both the AMP script variables, and also how to read it, data extension field information through lookup function platform, which is like also a platform library function that I will show you as well. And the exception handling, yeah, I have used the try catch blocks for exception handling. For example, let's say if I let's say if I submit some incorrect ID which is not present in my list, in my customers list, and still if I try to submit it, um thank you. Thank you. And then, yeah, let me type the Wilson one. And then even if I try to submit this one, you see, it gives me an error. It doesn't submit anything. So, this is how, the error exception handling was also handled by me using, the try catch box as well. And I used Postman to test my working of the REST calls. Okay. And also, like, from one of the sessions that Tim handled, he informed us, what are the different aspects involved in issuing, event, like, triggering and wait until event activity, and how to set, the HTTP post parameters to make a REST calls and all those. So if I have to go to code, the landing page. Yeah, so this is my landing page code where I had this form designed. So basically the form is all this, where I like once I submit the form, the redirection will happen to the same page that will be handled by this particular thing. You see, this is this request parameter page URL, right? So this will handle the same form, resubmit to the same form. Okay. And the input methods, and then the select options to basically, you know, to select what are the different status that's possible for a customer to be, like the pending or done. So that's also covered. And how to read the parameters of the form, that's been handled using platform dot platform dot request dot get forms. Through this functionality we will receive all those form fields, and once we receive these form fields, we will then basically once based on the customer information, we need to pass the customer's phone information and email information, right, to be passed to that wait until event activity. Because here we are not providing, the agent is not providing any phone number or email, but still we should be able to provide that information in the target data extension, right? So that's where to do that, I used this lookup functionality. Uh, just a second. Is this? Yeah. So I have used this functionality. So based on the customer ID, which agent submits, so that will try to fetch from the customer information, what is his like phone number and email address and all those details. Okay, and that is the lookup functionality that I used. And for the error exception handling, the try catch blocks. So this is how the try catch blocks was implemented by me to see if some issue with the token generation, then I will raise an error clause. And also if some issue with also to handle issue with sending out the actual event call, which is here. Yeah, here it is. And this will handle this try catch block will handle the actual event call, and this try catch block will handle the actual token call. Okay. And yeah, basically that's it from my end. And yeah, I hope you got what all aspects were involved, and what we from the SSJS bootcamp sessions that we learned till now, which nothing that I used a new knowledge out of the sessions that we already went through. So all with this is with the knowledge that I got from the sessions that Tim and the other presenters gave during the sessions. With that information itself, I was able to build out all these things, and I was able to achieve this task. So yeah, yeah, I sincerely thank Tim, JB, and the rest of the presenters during our bootcamp sessions to be very knowledgeable, and and for helping us to get this and complete knowledge. And yeah, thanks to yeah the presenters of the bootcamp.
Hi,
Yeah.
Raja. There's a question here on the chat. Maybe you can answer. Camila asked, is there any reason why you have two catch blocks after
Yeah.
one try?
So yeah. So No, it's not that, we can just handle it in just one try catch block itself, but I just wanted to, have it separately for individually for each of those tasks. So that is how I designed. Let me go back to that screen. Where is this? Yeah, you see, this is not this one. Yeah. So this is the one that I used specifically for, the auth call, for the token call. And then later I used one for, one for the actual event call. So it's okay that, I instead of having this specific try catch block, what I can do, I can just, even if I remove it, it will be handled over here because I am having one more try catch, encapsulating this particular, all this code as well. So, even this will take care of my all other calls related exception handling. So you can have just one try catch block, but here I since I am declaring some other variables and all those in between two function calls, I thought of not using just one simple try catch, but it's
I
all
was
right.
just referring to, 102 and 109. You have two catches on one try. I've just wondered if I've missed that feature.
Yeah, which one?
If you go down to line 102.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, you have a try on 94, and then you have a catch on 102, and then you have a catch directly after that on 109. Is there any reason why you would catch that twice?
I believe it's nested, right? Raja, you've
Correct.
got,
Yeah. So the outermost try catch is to handle this specific let's say this the customer ID that I entered is invalid one. So for that purpose to catch that one specifically, because this is the custom exception. This is not unlike the usual try catch. So this is the exception that I am throwing it and I'm handling it. So for this purpose, I used this outermost try catch block. And yeah, let me try to do this thing. Yeah, if you see, yeah. So the outermost try catch block will handle my custom exception, which says that, the customer ID which you entered is incorrect, and then it will ask you to recheck it. So for that reason, I use this outermost try catch block, and the innermost two try catch blocks I used for my specific purpose for two other calls. One is for the token generation, and the other is for the event call.
No, well, that makes sense. It was just really hard to see that they were nested when you were just looking at the section.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other
great
questions for me?
question. Raja, can you go over the throw again? That was really helpful. What the throw does?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so what this actually does is, so once the agent he enters the customer ID, right? Some incorrect address or incorrect customer's ID, and then if he tries to submit this information, let's say, thank you. Okay, agent. So it is giving me this error, right? So for this purpose, I wanted to have this specific try catch handle it out.
And that throw, like you were saying, it acts different than a catch. Like if
No,
rows
in the usual try catch, see, this post call, if it is something issue with either one of those attributes or the parameters that I pass it, or if some issue with the server, this will automatically raise an error, right? But here I just want to raise it from my end. So this is the custom way of raising an error instead of handling it through the actual functions that we have it.
So it's saying if the rows, so trying, if rows equals null, so that there was nothing that came up in the lookup rows,
Correct.
it's throwing that error, but that error was also related to, okay, so your test customer DE is based on a value, it's looking up the CID, which is the get form field for CID.
Correct.
And that's related to the ID of the
Customers.
the
So
agent
yeah,
or
like
the ID of the
correct.
customer. Got it.
Yeah.
It.
So
So
yeah, to
if
just give
nothing
one more
comes up for the
brief.
customer,
Yeah, it basically looks up for the customer information in the sense like I said, right? So the agents will be given a list of a list of customers details, right? So let me do one thing. Let me open the other cloud page that I already have it in place. This is right. Yeah. So this is the entire list. Basically this is the different cloud page that I built to to get all those customer information. So here you will see only these are the customers list that was provided to the agent. Okay, and if he enters some irrelevant customer ID, that should that's an invalid entry, right? So our form, the agent form, when he tries to submit incorrect ID, which is not in this particular list, this should give out an error saying recheck the customer ID which you wanted to submit it, and then the agent comes here and then sees what is the pending ID that he has, and then he will try to resubmit that. Once he do that, the form event will trigger the wait until event activity in the journey, and the rest will flow. Okay.
awesome. Can you walk through what you how you solved your post call, your REST call? What I know that
Yeah.
last time we met on Tuesday.
Yeah. So actually what happened is, I'm not sure if we covered this part in one of our sessions. It's my bad. I'm not sure what's happening here.
Your marketing cloud's not cooperating. I think this happened on
Yeah.
Tuesday too. It's so crazy.
Let me do one thing. Let me try to log in. Let me see if this works. Oh, still the same issue here. Okay, yeah, I will try to re-log in. Close this. What's happening here? So yeah, to give a overview on that part, what actually happening is earlier when I built that one, so in SSJS there is this concept called scope of a variable. Okay, so if you don't define a specific variable as a global variable, then if you try to like for example, here where is this try catch? Yeah, for example, you see this, there is this variable, right, where I am assigning the token generated from this function. I am assigning that token, and I am using this particular token that assigned to make my event call, right? But if you see, if I define it as a local variable, in the sense, if I define it within this try catch block, what happens is that this auth token will become the local scope, and it's available only within this try block. So outside the try catch, I will not be able to use this auth token. So now I changed this, earlier it was like this, right? But now I try to, define it as a new variable, right? So now if I try to save and submit it, what happens? This auth token, though this function gets the correct token and assigned to this variable, since this variable is defined in this try block, what happens? This auth token string value will not be available here. So when I make a REST call, the event call here, wherein I pass this header and header values, right? This header value will have bearer space empty value. Okay. And then because of that one, what happens? The REST call will not be a complete REST call, and then it gives me an error saying 401 error. So let's try that one. So yeah, that is one takeaway that I got from this like this practice. So which I got to know that the scoping of a variable plays a very important role as well. And let's see.
That's so weird, because if you think about the order of that code, you're doing that try catch and you're doing the try, and then when you do the call, you're doing the call right after it as well. It's not like that try code is not being done. But even so, it's like you're saying, when you're creating a variable in a try, it has to be used within the try.
Correct.
It's not universal to be used later on down the code, even though it was set in that try. That's
Correct. Yeah, it's
fascinating.
because of this variable is set within this try. That's why it's not available outside this try block. But if you
Interesting.
remove this one, this where this VAR syntax, then this becomes the global scope. That is
Wow.
what I figured out when I
Wow.
tried to debug it. So now it will work fine, because this is not defined, right? This is just I am using this variable.
Fascinating.
But I know
And
where I used this where syntax to define this one. So that's where it became the local, it became a global scope, and then it's available even outside the try catch.
gotcha.
Okay.
How did you figure that out? Did you output the token? Is that how you
Correct.
figured it
Yeah.
out?
So that is what I did. So I was like, scratching my head where I was going wrong, because the syntax and everything is correct. So then I tried to print out here the token, and then I try to see what's the value for the REST payload. That's with the header values and all those. It's printing. So I got to know that it's printing an empty value. And then I also try to print it out here after I have it. After I wrote a write statement here to see if it is correctly printing it out not. And then also I made another write statement here as well to see if it is currently available here or not. And then that's how
Cool.
I got to know. And also there is one more mistake also I did it. So which is this thing, this token. right? So this auth token, auth call, I am performing it here, right? And I am getting this token, right? Earlier I was doing it stringify. So this token is already a string, but I am using stringify, right? What it happen is that, it is placing one more character into my token. So here what happens is when I use this one, the bearer space, the token, and in between this bearer space and the token, one more character is getting added because of my additional stringifying this token. And even this also created an issue. And somehow I try to use the debugging knowledge that I got from the bootcamp sessions, and I was able to figure it out, even that one as well. So when you are using stringify, we should be very careful, and we should not be overdoing that as well. So these are the two mistakes. One is using the stringify of a token to be used for for appending it to my bearer token. That is one thing. And the other thing is the variable scope. These are the two things that we should take care of while we perform those.
Awesome. Great tips. That is super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Let me try to submit the available customer and then see. It gives me 4 not 1 error.
Yeah, we saw that on Tuesday. Yeah. It's those little things in cloud pages that drive you crazy.
Yeah, especially we should be we should be very focused on not doing any spelling mistakes with the function names or the variable
Yeah.
names, and we should not be using incorrect variable names when we are calling those.
Yeah.
And those things really uh, will make your time go waste when you're doing those. Okay, the ID is mismatching.
So you're grabbing the phone field. Yeah, you're grabbing a phone field. I don't know if that's what your intention was versus the ID
Oh,
field.
my bad. Okay, yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
yeah, catching that. Yeah, so this is the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Raja. That's really cool. I had another question for you. When you're building, you built those complex try catches were amazing. How do you build those? Are you building those try catches when you're doing the coding for each of those functions, or do you add those back in once those code areas are built?
No, actually, what happened is that when I'm building those functions, to make sure that functions are working correctly, I should, before calling those functions itself, I need to check what are its values, right? So that's where, I use those try catch to encapsulate those, functions to see if that call is correctly going to that specific calls or not, and then to see whether the variables are printing correctly or not. And that's how so it's not after I develop, while developing itself, to make sure that for specific, because the try catch is the only way that I can know whether that call went through correctly or not, right? And if it doesn't go correctly, then I need to figure out, so what preventing the call to go wrong. And that's how, I backtraced to the source of the issue.
Gotcha. Thank you. You had a question in the chat. Can you explain the wait until event part once more? That was, they missed out on that, but
Wait
can you just
until event
explain?
part once more. Okay, yeah. So
Sorry about that.
let me
Great question.
share my screen. Yeah, actually, the wait until event, it's pretty simple with the explanation that team provided earlier. So, no. So basically, what happens is that, how the wait until event works is, once, like, let me show you how we actually configure it. So when you drag and drop this wait until event activity, it asks you all these steps. Okay. So here, by default, this event definition will be provided to you when you when you drag that wait until event onto the canvas. This will be by default value it will provide you. Okay. And then later it will ask you to to provide a data extension which you have to use it to capture this wait until how this wait until event will process is that there should be an external API call that should happen to this event, and only that after that event, this the customer whoever is waiting here, they will pass through. Okay. And to see who got passed through this event, or with what information the API call happened, that all information will be captured within this data extension. Okay, so that's the reason we will have this specific data extension, which is mandated when configuring this particular event. Okay, so in this case, this I used it for my test agents DE, which basically once the agent fills out this form and clicks on submit, basically this form is sending out that event, right? In the sense, like, this once you click on that submit button, this is enabling to call that wait until event to process it in the journey. So that's where, with all this information, all this form information, it will be placed into this particular data extension. Okay. And then if you wanted to have any filtering criteria, you can use it. So basically, if you wanted to go to this Postman and see, this is a sample payload that we use it for, for triggering that wait until event activity. Here, if you see the contact ID, the event definition, or by default, that's necessary for this one. And apart from that, you need to pass data that you wanted to capture in your data extension. Okay, all this information you need to pass it. Okay, and here if you see, we are also passing this journey ID. Okay, so this journey ID with which I will filter out the data, because if I don't use this journey ID, what happens is that if there is this same payload, I can use it for a different wait until event activity as well, right? But to differentiate which which specific journey I am using it, in the sense this is this specific journey, and then in this specific journey, I am having this specific API event. So this signifies which journey I am using it and which wait until event. For example, in this journey, I can have one more wait until event, right? So to distinguish which wait until event that I am like calling or triggering from the form submission, So to signify that, I am using this Jenny ID. Okay. So even that I used here. And yeah, basically that's the configuration that's all needed for the wait until event activity. It's not very complex. It's just once you drag and drop the wait until event, it will ask you each and every step. So you need to just specify what's that's needed for this activity to be configured. And then you have to make sure when you are calling this specific event, you should know which URL that you should use, right? In the setup, if you go in the install package, you will see what is the auth based URL that should use for your token generation. And then you will be also required to have a REST call that where you will use that generated token to make an actual REST call to this wait until event. Okay, so there will be 2 calls for every REST call, because every REST call needs a token to be used. For example, here, if you see in the header, see, I need to provide this token, right? How this token gets generated? I need to make one specific auth call as well. So for every REST call, you will need 2 calls. One is the auth call and then the actual event call. Okay, so these are the 2 things that you need to make sure. Okay, and this comes from the installed packages itself. And for specifically the events that you handle for this wait until event, so this is the one that you use it. Okay.
Amazing, Raja. That was great. I have to hop to another meeting. So this was amazing. Great work on this. Unbelievable. Thank you for going through a journey, using that cool wait until event functionality, and a very complicated but somewhat simple, well architected cloud page, making that API call. It was wonderful, and just great to see how you worked through that, identified those issues, and outputted the token and saw and gave us some really good tips on those variables, which is really interesting to know within a try catch. So that's fantastic. Thanks to everybody who participated in this boot camp and all those builders along the way. And hopefully we'll have another session coming up next time for Data Cloud. And everybody have a wonderful, restful holiday season, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Raja. Nice work today.
Raja, can you paste the code on the Slack community?
Actually, what happens is that when I try to copy that entire code, it doesn't allow me because the lines of codes are like large, right? So I may have to
maybe
think of
you
a
can
way.
share a folder in the Google Drive or something.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, I will try to see if I can paste it in a text or text file, and then if I can upload it into the Slack channel.
Awesome. And if you can add your presentation too, I repeat Team's word. Amazing work. Awesome to see that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks.
If you come to Brazil, come talk to me, okay? We can discuss opportunities.
Yeah, we might steal them. So this is going to be in high demand. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.